Hello and welcome to Do You Remembaer, an ongoing video series where every week I take a look at something on the internet, an article that I read, most likely Wikipedia, about something that I want to talk about. I do my best to remember as much from what I read as possible so that I can share that information with you. There's a link in the show description below to this Wikipedia article that I'm going to talk about today, and you can go and read it, and you can let me know what I got right, what I got wrong, and if you have any thoughts of something you'd like to see me cover in the future, a specific event, a person, place, thing, idea, concept, put it in the comments below, and maybe I will do it. But also let me know what you think. Hit the like button. I'll just say that right at the top. Hit the like button, subscribe, do all those things. Um, let's talk about Chumbawamba. This is Chumbawamba right here. Um, they're a band collective that no longer is active. They have not done a reunion tour yet, but they did close up shop in 2012, and they existed for 30 years. Um, that's the thing about one hit wonders is that often it's just that was just their hit. It's not like the band only existed for the moment that song was popular. Um, uh, so yeah, I existed for 2 years before Chumbawamba was a thing, which is weird for me to say because I'm an old man. The fact that that I existed pre Chumbawamba is interesting to me anyway. So the band. Why am I talking about Chumbawamba? Well, I heard tub thumping in a CVS, and I was like, oh yeah, uh, those folks were like anarchists, right? That's weird. What's up with them? And so I did the research, and now I can tell you about them. Again, formed in 1982. There was another band with four of the original members were in that broke up, and then they made some new friends and formed a new band. And they've changed genres a bunch over 30 years, as one could assume. Throwing in some electronica, getting the certainly punk and the DIY punk aesthetic in the beginning, aesthetic I should say. And then also eventually, I think I do believe yes, they did a cover album of. Oh, sorry, they did a remix album of some of their songs with a country flair and released that only in Japan. They did a an album of Bee Gees covers. That's just the thing that they did. But of course, Tub Thumping is their big hit, 1997. Um, it's no coincidence that their big hit comes as soon as soon after they signed with EMI, which was in 1997. Before that, they'd been on a bunch of smaller labels, and of course, they got a lot of flack from some of their fans and other bands that were that were the contemporaries because they went from small little labels to EMI, and in fact, they had done an EP about EMI that was negative. And they basically said, look, uh, every label is focused on profits and is a capitalist endeavor. So if we are going to do this, we might as well try to reach a bunch of people with our message and our music and make a bunch of money that we can then funnel into things that we would like to funnel it into. Which is better than just saying, yeah, we sold out. You will too, if you can. But certainly probably didn't appease a lot of people. And in fact, they did have a platform that were on a bunch of talk shows across the world where they got to talk about how, hey, if our fans can't afford our album, well, go to a big box retailer like Virgin and just steal it from them because that's not going to hurt them at all. So you should do that. If you can't get our music, go and do that. That's 1987. They're saying this. Of course, then Virgin didn't stop the sale of Chumbawamba CDs because that would lose them money. Instead, even more money than theft. They just kept it behind the counter and did it go up to the counter and ask for it, which also sounds cool and maybe led to more sales. I don't know, but yeah, they were basically like they're anarchists, but they're like anarcho communists. It's like it's It's basically a thing where you're like, hey, there have to be some rules, and if there have to be some rules for society to exist, then maybe society should go towards a communist method where, like, we're not talking about like private property, but we're talking about personal property, and like, but right now capitalism sucks, and we can say that. Well, but we are, of course, in it, which is appealing and interesting. And yeah, they got to spread the word, move around. In I believe 2002, their deal with EMI ended. And they said, yeah, we're happy. We made a bunch of money. We piped it into our charity organizations and other things that we're passionate about. We spread the word. We got our name out there. We traveled the world doing shows. Now we're going to open up our own record label to continue our music, and we're going to call it Muff Records, which is a good name. It's just a good name. Um, One thing I liked learning about that I did not know is they, on two occasions, sent out music, free music, to their mailing lists. And just like, hey, here you go. And one of them was um, in timing with the Jubilee, not the current Jubilee for the Queen of England, but a previous Jubilee. They put out some music for that, which was a cover of a Beatles song, but the lyrics were changed around to be very anti royalty, which makes sense for them. There was another time where they put out a song, or they put out their own EP, and it listed a bunch of songs that, or sorry, in the song were a list of people that should disappear. Tony Blair was on that list because, of course, he was. Wink, wink. Yeah, and they just like did it for 2012, and then they announced on their website, "Hey, it's over. Not with a whimper. Not not with a reunion. It's done. With a whimper, not with a bang, not with a reunion." I think those were the ones. I'm sorry, I'm for probably messing that up. And they have not reunited since. I feel like that's a band that like won't will when like something happens that moves them, but not with like a bunch of people with money, like an organization with money is just like, hey, here's some money, because they turned down $1.5 million to Nike to who wanted to use tub thumping in a World Cup promotion, and they were like, no, no thanks, which is apparently, according to them, an easy decision to make, which to me is a hard decision. 100 there that was at the time where their band was doing very well, and I guess your band is doing well enough that you can make the decision that you are not going to take that kind of money. I mean, when you're dealing with FIFA and Nike, one can understand. Uh, yeah. One thing about EMI that people were rightfully mad about, like Chumbawamba signing with them, was the fact that at the time that Chumbawamba had made their anti EMI EP, EMI was involved with a weapons manufacturer, which they had not been for several years when Chumbawamba signed with them. So that's reasonable. It's a reasonable thing. You kind of want to like not be associated with that. I get it. I get it. My personal opinion on it has always been that you got to survive in this world, and morals are certainly important, but morals do not fill your belly. But there are lines that one doesn't cross and one chooses not to cross, and for them it was Nike, and I understand and respect that very much, and I get it. Yeah, when I sell out, me personally, Pat Bear, when I sell out, it will hopefully be for people that don't. It doesn't feel bad to do, or it doesn't feel as bad to do. But I'm also sure that some people will be like, "Fuck you, you sell out," and be like, "Okay, I get it." Uh, and that's Chumbawamba. They're a band, and I think that's great. And I'm happy they existed. I'm happy they were like, on television talking about anarchy and communism, and that they donated so much money to charity and propped up charity organizations around the world, and that they used their voice to make cool, weird music, and talk their truth, and that sounds awesome. And Tub Thumping is a song that you can shout most of the lyrics to. And then somebody's going to sing the Danny Boy part and not sound great, and that's okay. And that's going to do it for, a fairly long Do You Remember? Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the future. And yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do for the next week, but it'll be something. Bye.